It is a warm summer night. The lights are low, everything is quiet. Then suddenly, thud. Something huge hits the window screen. Long legs, thin body, shaky wings. It starts bouncing around the room, crashing into the wall, circling the lamp, missing the window, and somehow flying straight toward your face. Your brain does not wait for proof. It simply says, that is a giant mosquito. So you reach for the spray, the fly swatter, or the nearest shoe. But here's the truth most people never hear. That creature may not want your blood. It may not be able to bite you. And in many cases, it may barely be able to eat. What you are seeing is probably not a giant mosquito at all. It is most likely a crane fly, one of the most harmless insects people panic over. But if you are seeing many of them around your home, they may be warning you about something hidden in your yard. And it is not the crane fly you should be worried about. Honestly, the mistake makes sense. From across the room, a crane fly looks almost exactly like something you should be afraid of. It has those long, thin legs, that narrow mosquito-like body, those delicate wings. And when the light is dim, your brain does not see a harmless insect. It sees a giant bloodsucker. That is why most people react before they think. They grab bug spray. They reach for a fly swatter. Some people use an electric racket. Some people just take off a shoe and hope for the best. Because in that moment, the crane fly is not being judged by what it actually does. It is being judged by what it resembles. And its flying makes the fear even worse. A crane fly does not move smoothly like a mosquito. It drifts, drops, crashes, and suddenly changes direction. It bumps into windows, lamps, walls, and sometimes flies straight toward your face. That clumsy movement can feel like an attack, but it is not. Most people do not fear the crane fly because of what it does. They fear it because of what it reminds them of. But here is the truth that changes everything. A crane fly is not a blood-sucking mosquito. It may look like one from across the room, but if you looked closely, the horror story would fall apart. There is no needle, no blood-sucking tube, no hidden weapon, no vampire equipment waiting to pierce your skin. A real mosquito is built for a completely different purpose. It searches for warmth, carbon dioxide, and body scent. It lands on your skin, then it uses specialized piercing mouthparts to break through the surface and feed on blood. That is why mosquitoes feel personal. They are not just flying around your room by accident. They are actively looking for you. A crane fly is different. It does not hunt humans. It does not land on your arm to drink blood. It does not bite you while you sleep. And in many adult crane flies, the mouthparts are so reduced that eating is barely part of their adult life at all. That means the giant mosquito-looking insect on your wall is not waiting for the perfect moment to attack. It is not interested in your blood. It is not dangerous to your family. It is not secretly carrying out some tiny airborne mission against you. It is simply a harmless crane fly, scary-looking, badly misunderstood, and blamed for the behavior of an insect it only resembles. And this is where the story becomes even stranger. By the time many crane flies become adults, their lives are already almost over. The long-legged insect bouncing around your ceiling is not beginning some long adventure. It is entering the final, shortest chapter of its life. For many adult crane flies, life lasts only a few days. Some may survive a little longer, but the clock is already ticking the moment they get their wings. And during that short time, many of them barely eat. They are not searching your room for food. They are not looking for blood. They are not hunting anything. In many species, the adult stage is mostly about one thing: finding a mate and completing the life cycle before time runs out. That is why a crane fly is almost like a flying emergency battery running out of power. Most of its energy was stored earlier when it was still a larva hidden in damp soil or decaying plant material. Once it becomes an adult, it is running on what is left. So when it crashes into your lamp, circles your window, or drifts helplessly toward your face, that is not aggression. It is following light, scent, and instinct. You are not fighting a monster. You are chasing an exhausted insect, trying to finish the only mission nature gave it. Suddenly, that giant mosquito looks a little less terrifying and a little more tragic. And let's be honest, crane flies do not help themselves with the way they fly. A crane fly does not enter your room like a predator. It enters like it lost control of its own body. It bumps into the ceiling, it drops toward the floor, it smacks into the lamp, turns around, misses the open window completely, and then somehow aims straight for your face like it made a terrible decision at the last second. That is usually the moment people panic, because when a large insect flies directly at you, it feels personal. But it is not personal at all. Crane flies are simply awkward flyers, especially indoors. Outside, they have open space, natural light, plants, wind, and places to escape. Inside your house, everything becomes confusing. The lamp pulls them in. The window reflects light. The walls block their path. And suddenly, this harmless insect is bouncing around like it is trapped inside a maze it does not understand. So when it crashes near you, it is not attacking. It is just failing very dramatically. But there is another myth about crane flies that has fooled people for years. Some people say, do not kill it. It eats mosquitoes. And honestly, that sounds amazing. A giant mosquito hunter sounds perfect. Nature solving nature. One harmless insect flying around your yard, hunting down the tiny bloodsuckers before they ever reach your skin. But unfortunately, that story is mostly false. In many places, crane flies are called mosquito hawks. The name makes them sound like tiny predators, patrolling the night air and attacking mosquitoes like flying assassins. But adult crane flies usually do not hunt mosquitoes at all. Remember, many of them have reduced mouth parts. Some barely eat as adults. So the idea of them chasing down mosquitoes, grabbing them, and eating them does not really match how their bodies work. They are not mosquito killers. They are not backyard bodyguards. They are not secretly protecting your porch from bloodsuckers. In reality, crane flies are peaceful insects. They are much more likely to become food than to hunt anything themselves. Birds catch them. Spiders trap them. Frogs may eat them. And if one gets inside your house, your cat might treat it like the strangest toy it has ever seen. So the crane fly is not dangerous, but it is also not the mosquito hunter people imagined. Then why do they matter? The answer is hidden underground. Before it becomes the world's most confused flying insect, it spends months working underground as part of nature's cleanup crew. As a larva, a crane fly lives in places most people never notice: damp soil, leaf litter, wetlands, stream edges, rotting vegetation, and decaying plant material. It does not look impressive. It does not fly. It does not grab attention. But quietly, it is doing work that healthy ecosystems depend on. Crane fly larvae help break down organic matter. Dead leaves, soft plant debris, bits of decaying roots, and other natural material are slowly recycled through the soil. As larvae feed and move, they help speed up the process of decomposition. What was once dead plant matter begins to return nutrients back into the ground. And that matters more than most people realize, because soil is not just dirt, it is a living system. It needs air, moisture, nutrients, fungi, bacteria, insects, and tiny movements happening beneath the surface. When crane fly larvae move through damp soil, they can help loosen small spaces, allowing water and oxygen to travel more easily. So the adult crane fly may look useless when it is crashing into your lamp. But its earlier life tells a different story. Nature rarely wastes a creature. Sometimes the job is simply hidden where we never look, and the crane fly's real value is not in the air. It is in the quiet work it does beneath your feet. So what should you do when a crane fly gets inside your house? First, do not panic. You do not need to grab bug spray. You do not need to chase it around the room with an electric racket. And you definitely do not need to turn your living room into a battlefield. In most cases, you just need light, patience, and an open window. Crane flies are often attracted to light, which is one reason they end up trapped indoors in the first place. So turn off the lights inside, open a window or door, and turn on an outside light if you can. Many times, the crane fly will move toward the brighter outdoor light and leave on its own. If it does not, use the simple cup and paper method. Place a cup over it gently, slide a piece of paper underneath, and release it outside. No chemicals, no mess, no fear. Just a harmless insect returned to where it belongs. But here's the part that makes crane flies more interesting than most people realize. If you only see one or two around your home, there is usually nothing to worry about. One crane fly accidentally getting inside is just a harmless visitor. But if you are seeing many of them around your porch, windows, garden, or lawn, they may be telling you something. The crane fly may not be the problem. It may be the warning sign. Crane fly larvae usually prefer moist environments. They are often found in damp soil, wet grass, leaf litter, soggy garden beds, clogged gutters, shaded corners, and places where water does not drain properly. And here is where it becomes important. Those same damp conditions can also attract the insects you actually do not want around your home, real mosquitoes. Mosquitoes need standing water or moist breeding areas to multiply. So if your yard has puddles, clogged drains, piles of wet leaves, old buckets, bird baths, blocked gutters, or low spots where rainwater collects, crane flies may not be the only insects showing up. That means killing the crane fly does not solve the real problem. Instead, look at what your yard is telling you. Clear clogged gutters, remove standing water, reduce piles of wet leaves, improve drainage in soggy areas. Check shaded corners where moisture stays trapped for days. The crane fly is not your enemy. It may be nature's quiet way of saying, something here is too wet. So the next time one crashes into your window, do not see a giant mosquito. See a harmless creature with a bad reputation, clumsy wings, and only a short time left to finish its life. The crane fly does not want your blood. It does not bite. It does not drink from your skin, and most of the time, it is not hunting mosquitoes either. But that does not mean it has no purpose. As a larva, it helps break down decaying material and return nutrients to the soil. And if many appear around your home, they may be warning you about damp conditions mosquitoes love. We often fear what we do not understand, and sometimes the creature that looks terrifying is simply misunderstood. If this video changed the way you see crane flies, leave a like and subscribe. Nature is full of creatures that look scary until you understand what they are really doing.